Sometimes games are announced years before they ever see the light of day, but it's in that hype window where things either come together miraculously or everything falls apart. We've all felt the burn of delays in recent years, whether it's an entire year that Halo Infinite needed in the oven, or the constant incremental delays of Cyberpunk 2077. Combine this and the pandemic with the next generation games taking longer to develop anyway due to increased scope, scale, and graphical fidelity, and we find ourselves waiting longer and longer for big titles. We're looking at you, GTA 6. Over the last couple of years then, many games have been rumored, revealed, delayed, and everything in between, leaving us desperate to know more about them. I'm Jess from WhatCulture, and here are 10 upcoming video games we need to know more about. Number 10, Redfall. Deathloop recently released 2 stellar reviews, getting 10 out of 10s from a bunch of top gaming publications. That makes us even more eager to know about the next upcoming title from Arcane, Redfall. Announced during Xbox and Bethesda's 2021 E3 showcase with a cinematic reveal trailer, this game sounds fascinating. It's an open-world co-op shooter set in the town of Redfall, Massachusetts, which is being overrun by vampires. The game will feature 4 distinct playable protagonists, each with their own unique weaponry and abilities. One of the characters seems to be a sniper class with a pet raven, while another appears to have telekinetic abilities. Another particularly interesting sounding character is said to be able to deploy traps, while the 4th character utilizes a robotic companion. Despite the multiplayer capabilities of the game, Arcane has stated that their signature story, world building, and inventive game mechanics will remain a strong focus. Redfall is set for release in summer 2022, so it shouldn't be too long before we see some in-depth gameplay. Number 9, sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. At E3 in 2019, Nintendo revealed a short cinematic trailer that showed Zelda and Link traversing a dungeon, thereby announcing the sequel to Breath of the Wild. At the end of the video, a panoramic view of the game's open world is shown, and for quite some time, that's all the information we had. That is, until E3 2021. Nintendo showed yet another teaser for the game, though this time some actual gameplay was included. Gameplay showed Link soaring above the clouds, navigating some floating islands in the sky above Hyrule. The Link we see appears slightly different, with a corrupted-looking arm that could provide the player with some exciting new abilities. One such mechanic is seen in the trailer, as Link propels himself upwards, phasing straight through solid rock to gain higher ground. New and old enemies are also showcased, with bokoblins making a welcome return. Another intriguing detail picked out by fans is that the original theme is actually playing backwards, leading to wild speculation online. That's all we have for now, and there's currently no revealed release date, so we're expecting to hear more in the first half of 2022. Number 8, Warhammer 40k Darktide. The Warhammer 40k universe has seen its fair share of games over the years. The latest offering was originally revealed at the Game Awards in 2020, with a short gameplay trailer highlighting the high-octane, visceral co-op combat of Warhammer 40k Darktide. In this first-person action game, players will control one of 4 playable characters, taking on hordes of enemies using a mix of melee and ranged combat. While in-depth details on the characters has not been released, we do know that they are agents of the Inquisition. Whilst the game was originally meant to release in 2021, developer Fatshark pushed the game back to 2022, citing the coronavirus pandemic as a leading factor in the decision. Without too much detail revealed yet or a release date, this is definitely one we need to see more on. We're hoping to hear more in the first half of this year. Number 7, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The first ever fully 3-dimensional Kirby game, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, was revealed in September 2021 with a short gameplay trailer. With extremely colourful visuals and a 3D perspective, this title definitely looks promising. The gameplay features the titular pink protagonist running, hopping, and floating his way through a luscious city environment, seemingly overtaken by nature. More recently, in January of 2022, a more in-depth gameplay video was shown off by Nintendo. This trailer showcases some of Kirby's signature copy abilities. These included the lovable pink ball throwing bombs, whirling around as a tornado, and smashing enemies with a hammer. This trailer also revealed that the game will feature co-op, with a second player able to take control of Waddle Dee. Kirby is also seen clashing with the series staple character Meta Knight. Despite a solid chunk of gameplay available to watch, very little is known about the world story and structure of this foray into 3 dimensions for Kirby. With a release date of the 25th of March 2022, there's not long to wait now. Number 6. Marvel's Wolverine. Gamers everywhere were duly surprised and delighted to hear that Insomniac Games had a Wolverine game in the works. This was revealed at 2021's PlayStation Showcase event, alongside a sequel to Insomniac's hit game Spider-Man. The short cinematic teaser trailer pans the camera through a bar, seemingly following a fight as multiple people lay strewn unconscious across the establishment, with broken furniture and various objects littering the floor. A man is seen brandishing a knife, approaching a mysterious figure who is seated at the bar. The camera shifts around this character and avoids revealing their face. It then zooms into the man's hands, which make a fist before the iconic adamantium claws extend from them, ending the trailer. Chills. Not much more has been revealed since this teaser, except that it will feature a mature tone and be a full-sized game. It's currently in very early development, so don't expect to hear much from this one over the next couple of years. But that won't stop us from getting excited way too early to tear through enemies as Logan in a next-gen gaming experience. Number 5. Contraband. Xbox had an exceptional game showcase event in 2021, revealing the likes of Redfall and Starfield. However, it was one of the more mysterious announcements from the event that had us the most intrigued. Contraband is being described as a co-op smuggler's paradise set in the fictional world of 1970s Bayan. The game is being developed by Avalanche Studios, the people behind the Just Cause series. This definitely helps to build some hype for the game, which we've seen no gameplay of just yet. We do, however, know that the game is open world, which we know Avalanche can handle, so that's a big plus. With its fictional Southeast Asian setting, vibrant jungles and winding beaches are sure to be in place for players to explore. Whilst very little is known about the game at this stage, the idea of jumping into a luscious world, planning and pulling off heists with friends is an incredibly exciting prospect. Number 4. Everwild. From veteran game development studio Rare, this fantastical adventure has been very light on information since we first learned of its existence in 2019. Everwild looks to employ incredibly beautiful stylized visuals and a vast array of mystical characters and creatures. Beyond that, not much is known at all. The game has been rumored to have ongoing development struggles, with some sources claiming that the game was actually rebooted after a lack of direction. With no real combat apparent from the footage released thus far, perhaps this offering sees players discovering, caring for, and navigating around the large collection of mythical beasts on show. Rare did say that Everwild will be giving players new ways to play, which suggests there'll be some innovation here, but all we can do is speculate at the moment. With over 30 years under their belt in delivering stellar gameplay experiences, it's certain that Rare will figure out how to make Everwild a unique and interesting next-gen title. Number 3. The Outlast Trials. Outlast has massively proven itself to be a modern classic in the horror genre, with 2 great games and a bunch of good DLC under its belt. This is why the announcement of the Outlast Trials was so exciting. Announced all the way back in 2017, this first-person cooperative horror game has been extremely lacking in information. The game is a prequel to the first 2 Outlast games, set in a facility of the Murkoff Corporation, who were featured prominently in the first game. This facility is performing experiments on people which the player presumably falls victim to, and must escape throughout the course of the game while uncovering the mysteries of the shady organization. A gameplay trailer released in 2021 shows players navigating this facility, at one point being pursued through a creepy model town constructed within the compound to run the experimental trials. Now scheduled for 2022, we're expecting a firmer release date and some more details very soon. Number 2. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Ubisoft's upcoming Avatar game was originally announced all the way back in 2017, but things have been pretty quiet since then. This standalone story within the Avatar universe was revealed with a cinematic trailer at E3 2021. The game is being developed by Massive Entertainment, who are the minds behind the Division franchise. Players will take control of the Na'vi, exploring a region of Pandora known as the Western Frontier, which is being threatened by the human organization, the RDA. No real gameplay footage or details have been released, but the game will be a first-person, open-world, single-player adventure game. It should emphasize combat, exploration, and interaction with the wildlife of Pandora. With the highly anticipated sequel to James Cameron's Avatar also set to release in 2022, this is shaping up to be a massive year for the world of Pandora. Number 1. The Callisto Protocol. Dead Space is one of the scariest, most iconic horror games ever made. This makes the next entry an incredibly exciting one for horror fans everywhere. The Callisto Protocol was first announced at the 2020 Game Awards, and it's coming from the creator of Dead Space, Glenn Schofield. This is an incredibly enticing prospect, especially considering the interesting premise of the game and that it's a next-generation only release. The cinematic reveal trailer introduces us to the setting, a prison set on one of Jupiter's moons, which has been overrun by an alien threat. Curiously, this game is a part of the wider PUBG universe. How this will all become apparent and tie into the massively popular Battle Royale experience is unknown as of yet. The game has a rough release date set as 2022, so hopefully we'll be seeing more of the gameplay and learning more about the character's story and world very soon. That's the end of our list, but let me know down in that comment box which upcoming games from this year you desperately need to know more about. As always, I've been Jess from WhatCulture. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like, you can come say hi to me on my Twitter account where I'm @JessMcDonald. But make sure you stay tuned to us here for plenty more gaming goodness.